We should be live. Shalom out there. Shalom, shalom. Give me 1 second. Okay, we all good. All right, hey, shalom. Before I get started with this lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakak Wadash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth, and double salutations to all you Akim out there laboring. The house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. Shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. All right, I'm back at you with another live lesson through the Holy Spirit, the Rakak Wadash. And before we get into the lesson, just want to make these announcements again so people may know. All right, this current channel, GMS upon Precepts 4. All right, you know, I'm back off the strikes, but I got 2 strikes, so Esau is going to take this channel at any day, you know. So I'm going to keep posting on it until he takes it. You know what I'm saying? I doubt I'll be able to wait out these strikes, you know, off the channel, but, you know, strike 3 and that's it. So this channel, you know, is pretty much going to be done, you know, but continue to watch, you know, as long as it's up. But in the meantime, please subscribe to GMS space all precepts. All right, this is where I'm loading my my latest sit downs. All right, GMS all precepts. So this is my latest sit down channel. All right, 279 subscribers. Please subscribe. Trying to get this channel built up, and we do go live off this channel as well. And also my other sit down channel. All right, GMS space all precepts 144. All right, my other sit down channel. So please subscribe if you haven't already. And of course, my animation page, ICR Yahweh Shah for the election 3, and also ICR Yahweh Shah for the election 4. So please subscribe to all these channels if you haven't, you know, because there's an attack on all brothers channels. You know, we're shadow banned. All right, you know, we're constantly under watch. We're being monitored. All our videos are being flagged and taken down because we're in a time of the famine of the word, so on and so forth. So please subscribe to all these channels. All right, GMS all precepts, GMS all precepts 144, ICR Yahweh Shah for the election 3, and ICR Yahweh Shah for the election 4, Babu Kushah. All right, so with that, all right, let's get into the lesson. All right, I pray that this lesson is edifying, man, and let's get to it. Okay, so this is about a year ago. So it says why, the title here says why we're all so damn angry. Right, so let's get into it.
I'm mad as hell and I'm not going to take it anymore. It just came to me, just like that. Inspiration. You see it everywhere you look. A parent ripping a mask off an educator. Unruly passengers on airplanes having to be physically restrained by other passengers and crew members. The knee-jerk reaction to President Joe Biden's vaccine mandate announcement. Efforts to stamp out non-existent election fraud in swing states. It's all anger. And in some cases, it's out and out rage. And it is absolutely pulsing through the electorate right now. Heck, even President Joe Biden could barely contain his frustration bordering on anger at unvaccinated Americans during a speech he gave in mid-September.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin. And your refusal has cost all of us.
New polling from CNN bears out our rage. Asked to, quote, think about the way things are going in the country today, 3/4 of respondents, 74%, said they were either very angry, 26%, or somewhat angry, 48%. Those numbers are similar to what an August 2020 CNN poll found, with 79% saying they were angry roughly a year ago. Now, the poll doesn't ask people why they're so angry, but if we dig into the guts of that poll, we can gain at least some insight into the emotion. Almost 9 in 10 Republicans, 88%, say they were angry, including 43% who describe themselves as very angry. By contrast, 67% of Democrats say they're angry about the current state of affairs in the country, with just 15% saying they are very angry. For what it's worth, by the way, 70% of independents say they are also angry. So while both parties are, yes, angry, they are almost certainly angry about different things. And Republicans are, quite frankly, angrier. Republicans are up in arms about what they believe to be government overreach across a broad spectrum of issues, but most notably on the reaction to COVID-19. In response to Biden's pledge to mandate vaccines for as many as 100 million Americans, the Republican National Committee promised to file suit to block that effort. South Carolina Republican Governor Henry McMaster, never exactly one for understatement, tweeted this following Biden's announcement, quote, "Rest assured we will fight them to the gates of hell to protect the liberty and livelihood of every South Carolinian," end quote. Sidebar, Republican elected officials didn't have much problem with schools mandating kids to be vaccinated against, measles, mumps, and the like. But I digress. Now, Democrats, by and large, are, like Biden, angry at the unvaccinated, who, by their continuing refusal to take the shot, are allowing children to be put at risk, not to mention the immunocompromised, and are watching hospitals fill to capacity with cases of preventable disease. And that frustration, of course, though, is not only a Democratic feeling. West Virginia Republican Governor Jim Justice, in a press conference in early September, sounded absolutely fed up with those who continue to resist taking the vaccine. Watch.
For God's sakes, 11. How difficult is this to understand? Why in the world do we have to come up with these crazy ideas? And they're crazy ideas that the vaccine's got something in it and it's tracing people wherever they go.
In fact, political party structure may not be the best way to express the current split in our country and to explain where our anger is targeted. On one side, our former President Donald Trump and his political base, not to mention many GOP elected officials who are ensuring they stay in good stead with that party base. On the other side are Democrats and plenty of Republicans like Justice, including those Chamber of Commerce business types, who just want things to go back to normal and know that the only viable path back to normalcy is through mass vaccination. Now, it's worth pointing out here, these groups are not equal in number. The latter, the back to normal vaccinators, are far larger than the government overreach Trumpers, based on the numbers who got vaccinated before any sort of federal mandate to do so ever went into effect. But per the latest CNN poll again, key demographics that make up the Trump base, those people who disapprove of Joe Biden, white non-college graduates, and those who aren't vaccinated, are way angrier over the current state of affairs than are the rest of the country. And many Republican elected officials are willing to do whatever it takes to stay on the right, rage-filled side of that base. And of course, Trump himself both benefits from and foments that rage. One example of many came in early September following the removal of a Robert E. Lee statue in downtown Richmond, Virginia. Quote, "Our culture is being destroyed, and our history and heritage, both good and bad, are being extinguished by the radical left, and we can't let that happen," Trump said in a statement released via his Save America PAC. Look, anger can't stay suppressed for very long. As we've seen, it eventually bursts forth, striking out, often indiscriminately. We saw that happen on January 6th when rioters, egged on by Donald Trump and his most loyal allies, rioted at the U.S. Capitol, leaving 5 people dead and more than 100 police officers injured. Anger is a powerful emotion and a dangerous one. And at the moment, we as a people are just so damn angry. That anger will have consequences, bad ones. And that is the point.
It's all prophecy, baby. Right? People are angry as hell, right? Getting into this thing. I just want to leave this video loaded up. Bear with me 1 second. All right. Americans are angry, and that's going into this show here. Just wanted to touch on that through the spirit of prophecy here. All right. News and prophecy, the love of many shall wax cold, an angry society divided. All right. It's all Bible prophecy, and it's going to get worse. Right. And I was reading this article, which the Spirit allowed me to put this all together. I was reading this article last night. This is from The Atlantic. Right. As you can see, a broken America. Right. So it says how America got mean. Right. I just want to just highlight a couple points from these couple of paragraphs here. But it says how America got mean. It says, in a culture devoid of moral education, generations are growing up in a morally inarticulate, self-referential world, right? So let's jump down and read a little bit here. It says, over the past 8 years or so, I've been obsessed with two questions. The first is, why have Americans become so sad? The rising of rates of depression have been well publicized, as have the rising deaths of despair from drugs, alcohol, and suicide. Other statistics are similarly troubling. Now, real quick, all right, before I read on, all right, because the Lord is literally plaguing the minds of these Babylonians. I want to pull something up. Bear with me. Let me see if I can find it. All right, because the priest Amawai had brought this out at Kent, that over the past year or so, over 50,000 people have committed suicide. Right? Let me pull that up. Bear with me. Oh yeah, here we go. I found it. All right, this was reported August 11, 2023 from the ABC 7 Chicago News. Let me pull this up. Bear with me. All right, just to show you. All right, the Lord is literally plaguing this place, man. Okay, so I got it pulled up here. It popped up. Okay, so it says here, just to add on to that point. So it says nearly 50,000 Americans died by suicide in 2022. This is last year. Nearly 50,000 Americans died by suicide in 2022, a record high number, CDC, right? So people are fucking losing it, man. People can't handle the pressure, right? People are barely making it, right? Barely can keep food on the table, working 3 or 4 jobs, working 80 hours a week. You know, pockets is thin, you're hungry, you know, lockdowns, people are catching hell, right? So people just offing themselves deleted, making themselves unalive, as the brothers say, man. Right? 50,000. That's a lot of people, man. You know, it says, jumping down, it says a total of 49,449 Americans died by suicide in 2022. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said Thursday. This is a 2.6 increase from the 48,183 in 2021. And the highest number ever recorded. All right. You see how the Lord is breaking numbers, man. You know, the Lord is achieving great things right now, man. You had the joint, you know, the explosion in PA, you had the fire in Maui, Hawaii, right? They said that was a record number of deaths, more than 100 years or something like that, man. So the Lord is just, you know, the Lord is just setting records out here, right? It says, reading on, it says, this is a 2.6 increase from 48,183 in 2021 and the highest number ever recorded, according to provisional numbers released in a new report from the Federal Health Agency. It says the greatest increase was seen among adults age 65 and older, which was up to 8.1% from 2021. And the second highest increase was those aged from 45 to 64 with the 6.6 rise. There was also an increase among those aged 25 to 44, but of just 0.7%. Okay. And, you know, the stats read on. We ain't got to read this whole article here, but the bottom line is that people are plagued in the mind, man. People are losing their damn minds. This is why people are angry and bugged out. All right. The love of many shall wax cold, as the scriptures say. But let's go back to the point here. All right. So anyway, reading on here, or reading that part again, it says the rising rates of depression have been well publicized, as have the rising deaths of despair from drugs, alcohol, and suicide. Yeah, everybody's on drugs, popping pills, fentanyl, right? You got the shit that's turning people into zombies, skin falling off their bodies, crack, cocaine, Joe Biden's son on crack. There's just a lot of shit, man, right? This place is going out with epic proportions, man. It says, but other statistics are similarly troubling. The percentage of people who say they don't have close friends has increased fourfold since 1990. All right. The love of many shall wax cold. Nobody fucks with nobody. All right. That's the spirit. The share of Americans ages 25 to 54 who weren't married or living with a romantic partner went up to 38% in 2019 from 29% in 1990, right? You got all these gender wars going on, all right? Men are waking up to the wickedness of women, and, you know, it's a clash going on. You see the red pill movements, alpha male strategy, you know, people ain't getting married. The system is a sham, you know, all these things are happening. This all contributes to the division and the anger in America, man. All right. All these laws geared towards women that benefit women. Men are tired of that shit. It says a record high 25% of 40-year-old Americans have never married. All right. A record high 25% of 40-year-old Americans have never married. All right. Because men are seeing that it's not worth it. Okay. There's no benefit of getting married in this society. All right. It says more than half of all Americans say that no one knows them well. The percentage of high school students who report persistent feelings of sadness and hopelessness shot up from 26% in 2009 to 44% in 2021. So people are just distressed. People are just tired, man. All right, defeated. All right, there's a defeated spirit here, right? And that's prophecy. Let me add on real quick before I read on. That's Isaiah 24, right? Isaiah 24 and verse 7. And it reads, it says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. Depression, anxiety, anger, suicide. All right. Shit is not the same here in America nowadays, you know, and people see that. Right. It says the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoiceth endeth. The joy of the harp ceaseth, right? All the merry, happy-go-lucky bullshit, man. The Lord is killing that spirit, man. They shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Because when you drink strong drink, right, it's supposed to, you know, allow you to forget about the bitterness, the struggle, so to speak, you know. But see, strong drink is not helping. The drugs ain't helping. All right. People that try to get away, that try to escape the reality, if you will. All right. They're still boggled down. They're still mentally defeated, man. So there's nothing that you can run to allow you to escape, to have the peace, so to speak, you know. It says the city of confusion is broken down. Every house is shut up that no man may come in. All right. Because you got businesses closing down. All right. You know, people are losing jobs. You know, AI is taking over, you know, all of this shit. It says there's a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. All right. This is prophecy here. All right. The mirth of the land is gone, man. Shit ain't happy. Right. You said you was living your best life. That was a lie. All right. That demon, Pharrell told you that he was so happy. Right. That's a damn lie, man. Shit is real out here. Right. And people are beginning to find that out. This is why we're in a society. This is why society has you know, transition into this fashion. Okay. Let's go back and read some more. I want to make some more points. All right. So this is back in the article here. All right. Let me pull that back up. Here we go. So let's jump down a little bit more. All right. So this is the second paragraph of this article, which is entitled How America Got Mean. All right. So reading on, it says, my second related question is, why have Americans become so mean? I was recently talking with a restaurant owner who said that he has to eject a customer from his restaurant for rude or cruel behavior once a week. Something that never used to happen. Yeah, people are out of control nowadays, man. People come in a restaurant and fuck your shit up, man. Tear up your restaurant. And another thing too, right, which was reported, people that got the jump shot, that got the juice pack, right, by them having that shit up in their bodies is making people even more angrier. They're more aggressive, right? Esau put that out there. All right. The devil, Klaus Schwab, he said that we have to prepare for a more angrier world, right? He said that back 3 years ago. And you can look it up. All right. You think I'm making this up? Let's pull it up. All right. We got the receipts. All right. Hold on. What was it called? He said an angrier world. right? Here we go. You can look this video up on your own time. Right at the top, 3 years ago, 1.1 million views. WEF founder, this is what he said, must prepare for an angrier world. All right. People are fucking pissed. All right. People are waking up. They understand that the powers that be are oppressing them. You know, they're standing up. You got rebellions and you got, you got protests, revolutions, riots, all types of shit going on across the earth, pursuant to 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter. Right? Let me go there too. All right. Let's go there real quick. Bear with me. All right. This is all Bible prophecy. Okay. 2nd Ezra 9, straight to the point. Okay. 2nd Ezra 9:1, and it reads, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest parts of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. And we clearly see that. All right. It says, verse 3, my point, it says, therefore, when there should be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then thou shalt well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Right. The uproars, man. People are rebelling against their governments, man. All right. Esau's being called out. People are rejecting the Western ways out of their countries. So much is happening. Verse 5, it says, for like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. All right. Clearly. So let's go back. Salakia. Pray I'm not all over the place, but we just want to make these points here. All right. Salaki, let's go back. All right, bear with me, because we're going to pull this article up too in a second when I get to it. So let's go back. So anyway, reading it from the top again, my second related question is, why have Americans become so mean? I was recently talking with a restaurant owner who said that he has to eject a customer from his restaurant for rude or cruel behavior once a week. Something that never used to happen. A head nurse at a hospital told me that many on her staff are leaving the profession because patients have become so abusive. At the far extreme of meanness, hate crimes rose in 2020 to their highest level in 12 years. Murder rates have been surging at least until recently. Same with gun sales. Social trust is plummeting. In 2000, 2/3 of American households gave to charity. In 2018, fewer than half did. The words that define our age reek of minutes, conspiracy, polarization, mass shootings, trauma, safe places. So this is America now. Okay. It says, we admixed in some sort of emotional, relational, and spiritual crisis, and it undergirds our political dysfunction and the general crisis of our democracy. What's going on? Over the past few years, different social observers have offered different stories to explain the rise of hatred, anxiety, and despair. The technology story, social media is driving us all crazy, which is true. All right. Social media has bugged people the fuck out. The things that people do for clout and attention is ridiculous. You see what I'm saying? This internet gotta go, and we can't wait. It says the sociology story. We stop participating in community organizations and are more isolated, right? People are more isolated than ever. That's that divide, that societal divide. It says the demography. It says the demography story. It says America, long a white dominated nation, is becoming much more diverse, becoming a much more diverse country. A change that has millions of white Americans in panic. All right. So this is what it's really about. All right. If you want to get straight to the point, it's really about the millions of Edomites that are beginning to panic. All right. They're seeing that they're losing America, man. America is becoming a more diverse country, meaning there's more minorities now. All right. The minorities are taking over. All right. The blacks and Mexicans taking all the jobs, all that shit that they be complaining about. You damn liberals, right? You're destroying the fabric of America, the moral degeneracy that's being pushed by the left wing, all that shit. All right. These traditional conservative Edomites are fucking losing their minds. They're panicking. They're losing sleep. It says the economic story, high levels of economic inequality and insecurity have left people afraid, alienated, and pessimistic. It says, I agree to an extent with all these stories, but I don't think any of them is the deepest one. Sure, social media has its bad effects, but it is everywhere around the globe. And the mental health crisis is not. Also, the rise of despair and hatred has engulfed a lot of people who are not on social media. Economic inequality is real, but it doesn't fully explain the level of social and emotional breakdown. The sociologists are right that we are more isolated, but why? What values lead us to choose lifestyles that make us lonely and miserable? All right, I'm gonna finish it out. I'm gonna finish out this last paragraph and we'll grab the scriptures. Bear with me. It says, the most important story about why Americans have become sad and alienated and rude, I believe, is also the simplest. We inhabit a society which people are no longer trained in how to treat others with kindness and consideration. Our society has become one in which people feel licensed to give their selfishness free reign. All right. We live in a very entitled society, man. People don't give a fuck about nobody but themselves. All right. It's my way or the highway. People are easily enraged. It says the story I'm going to tell is about morals. In a healthy society, a web of institutions, families, schools, religious groups, community organizations, and workplaces helps form people into kind and responsible citizens. A sort of people who show up for one another. We live in a society that's terrible at moral formation, right? Because, hey, that's the Lord, that's the Spirit of the Lord that's breaking this society down. So it's all biblical. Okay, there is no solution. All right, there is no healing of Babylon, man. Right? This is Matthew 24:12, and it reads, it says, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. So this is why America is in this current condition here. This is why people are just gone. All right. The division, the anger, like we read, the murder rates are increasing. Nobody gives to charity. People are isolated by themselves. The hatred that's growing amongst these people. Right. This is prophecy because what? Iniquity is abounding, man. Right. All of this weirdo shit. All these different lifestyles are promoted here. All right. And that's sin and transgression that's abounding, man. Which is transformed the society into a morally degenerate society. And a society that operates in that fashion is not going to last. It's going to be destroyed. Okay. As we're seeing it happen right before our eyes. Right. Ecclesiastes 3:1, a time for everything. And what time are we in? All right. Ecclesiastes 3:1, it says, to everything there is a season and a time and purpose under the heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, and a time to pluck up that which is planted. Right. And America is being plucked up. A time to kill. Right. We're in that time. The time of killing, a time of war, murder increasing. Hatred, a time to heal, a time to break down. That's what this article was. This article was going into the breakdown of America's society. How America got so mean. What happened? We never used to be this way. It says a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep. Right? People are in a state of mourning, depression, anxiety, suicide. A time to laugh, a time to mourn, a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. All right. People don't fuck with each other. Everybody hates each other. All right. All these Edomites are clashing. with their different political views, religious views, right? Nobody's coming together. Isolation. A time from embracing, right? A time to get, a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to keep silence, a time to speak, a time to love, a time to hate, right? A time of war and a time of peace. So we're in that time of hate and war, clearly, right? Bible prophecy is in full effect, right? Let's see if there's any more before I move on. Okay. See if there's any other points. Okay. Because these Edomites are in total panic. Okay. They're losing their beloved kingdom. All right. Let me see. I said, blah, 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 blah. More information. Da, 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 da. Yeah. And the rest is, blase blah, man. So we read the main point here in this article. So we're going to move on. All right. Because this article set up those scriptures there, man, along with the video. So anyway, this is from the Guardian.com. It says anger and radicalization. Rising number of Americans say political violence is justified, man. All right. This is how these Americans feel. They're saying political violence is justified, man. People who support Trump, they feel like they were duped. They feel like, election meddling, all of this shit, people are mad. People are looking at Trump as the savior. It says a survey shows a small but significant share of Americans believe in use of force to attain political goals on both the left and the right. All right. What is that? Isaiah 19. Okay. Isaiah 19 and verse 2. And it reads, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. All right. And that's the spirit. Edomites versus Edomites. All right. But don't forget about you Jakes too. All right. 2/3 of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Hispanics. Hey, you Egyptians too. All right. You Babylonians, you Americans too. All right. So the Lord got everybody at each other's heads. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight, everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. See, so this is the Lord. This is another plague of the Lord, man. All right. Hatred, anger, and division. All right. We're getting ready to see this thing escalate to new levels. Right. It says the June federal indictment of Donald Trump is radicalizing support for the use of force on behalf of the former president and current presidential candidate, according to the author of a recent survey about threats to democracy. Meanwhile, on the other side of the aisle, support for violence to restore the federal right to an abortion has increased over the last few months. Researchers found, although there's little indication that any organized groups support acting on this belief, right? But Esau is he's gonna make some shit, happen. It says, because a lot of this stuff is all orchestrated and set up anyway. It says the dangers to democracy report indicates that a growing number of Americans support the use of political violence as the 2024 presidential campaign heats up, and further indictments of Trump are probably imminent, right? So, as we've been saying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai, man, hey, we might not even get to the 2024 elections, right? Some shit might pop off right before it, man. Which is really gonna bring that social division. All right, that chaos and anarchy in the streets. It says the indictment is radicalizing support for Trump, but that's not only a source of radicalization, said Robert Pape, a University of Chicago professor who led the research. You're seeing growing anger. You are seeing growing anger and radicalization on the left as well, on both sides, the right and the left, right? It says the number of Americans who believe the use of force is justified to restore Trump to the White House increased by roughly 6 million in the last few months to an estimated 18 million people, according to the survey conducted by the university in late June and shared exclusively with Guardian, man. So, man, hey, the Lord got that spirit out here, man. Millions of these Edomites are ready to turn up, right? So let it happen, right? This is all biblical prophecy, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 15. Okay. 2nd Ezra chapter 15, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And one people shall stand up and fight against another and swords in their hands. So as we read in the article earlier, it talked about people buying guns, right? Record sales have been off the charts over the past 3 to 4 years. All right. Americans have been buying all the guns and ammunition. Okay. These Edomites, they see that America is about to be done for, man. And they're ready by any means necessary to take it back. All right. These Edomites really believe in Trump. You know, they're ready to go to war. It says, for there should be sedition among men. What is sedition? Rebellions. Okay. Riots. For there should be sedition among men and invading one another, man. Break-ins, you know, armed robberies. It says they shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Going back to this article, man. All right. Americans are angry. They're ready to take action in their own power. Right. They're not going to regard anything about the police, the system, none of that. By any means to take their beloved America back. It says a man shall desire to go into a city. It shall not be able. Right. You're going to have martial law. You're going to have roadblocks. Right. You're going to have lockdowns. All right. It says, for because their pride, the city shall be troubled, their houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid, man. It's going to be a time like no other, man. And a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation, man. So do you not see it bubbling up in the spirit? Okay. These articles are out here, man. We see it. All right. We're at the tipping point. All right. The tip of the iceberg, as they say. Right. Just adding on. It says, this is from trendingpoliticsnews.com. It says, watch. Trump brings women to tears by signing her MAGA hat. We need you back. And this is how these Edomites feel. Right. Trump is the cult of personality. Let me pull that up. Right. I had brought that out in the previous lesson. Trump is the right guy. Cult of personality. Right. Let's just read that definition real quick. Right. Cult of personality definition. Okay. Cult of personality. And that's who Trump is. Cult of personality. It says a situation in which a public figure, such as a political leader, is deliberately presented to the people of a country as a great person who should be admired and loved. You cannot say that ain't Trump, man. Right? You know, and this is how they're upholding him. Let me just play this real quick, man. This is how these Edomites feel.
My name is Scott. Can you please read that? Oh my God.
Yeah, so she crying and shit. You know, these Edomites believe he's the savior. He's the one. He's the one that's going to bring us out of this crisis. You know, like these Edomites feel like that. As we read the article, millions of these, and when they say Americans, this is really these Edomites, man. All right, millions are ready to by the use of force, right? As I said, the use of force of taking the country back, man. You know, so this is the guy, man, that's going to lead you to destruction. So it's the perfect setup. Okay. All right. Let's grab this article too, man. You know, heavy stuff. Matter of fact, before we grab the article, let's grab this scripture. All right. Mark. This is the book of Mark, chapter 3. Excuse me. Mark chapter 3, verse 23. And it reads, it says, and he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? If a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And if a house be divided against his house, I'm sorry, if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. All right. If Satan rise up against himself and be divided, he cannot stand, but have an end. All right. And Satan is divided against himself, man. All right. Edomites versus Edomites. You got American Edomites versus Russian Edomites. All right. As we read earlier, city against city, town against town. Right. This thing is literally about to implode, man. It's about to go down. All right. But this is how we know it. When a society is divided like this, it cannot stand but have an end. So we're witnessing the end of Babylon, America. Right? Ain't no bouncing back. Ain't no restoring this place. It's done. All right. This is the will of the Lord. Grabbing this article just to add on. All right. This is from America's First Report. It says some parts of America are already on the verge of being ungovernable as rampant lawlessness spreads like wildfire. You see, the Lord is turning shit up. Right. It says in order for a civilized society to function, most people have to willingly follow the rules of that society. If that happens, law enforcement authorities can deal with the few that choose to be lawless. For generations, that is how things worked in America. There was a high standard of morality among the general population, and so the police were able to successfully handle the few bad apples that insisted on breaking the law. But now everything has changed. As a result of decades of extreme moral decay, lawlessness is rampant, and there are vast multitudes of young people that openly flaunt the rules of our society. In fact, there are already some areas of the country that are literally on the verge of being ungovernable. So it's here, it's happening, man. The collapse is already, we're in the midst of it. All right. The Lord is turning shit up, man. Okay. Jacob's trouble is on the way. It says, let's read a little bit more here. It says, let's jump down a little bit, see if there's any more. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. I seen this on TikTok. Let's play that real quick. People are bugging out. See, the thing is, when Esau talks about the young people and all of that, he's really talking about Jake, all right? Because Jake is the one that's out here looting the stores, robbing shit, you know? And you got those laws that were put in place where, you know, if the theft is under a certain amount of money, you know, there's nothing the stores can do. But you got packs of niggas running up in these stores taking stuff. So it's pretty much unwise to try to stop them, right? You got hundreds of wild packs of niggas running there just ramshacking shit, man. So ain't nothing you can do. You can stop the 2 or 3 of them, but you got to deal with the other 200. You see? So just things are just spiraling out of control, right? Let's see if there's any more. That's pretty much the point. It's just going into the video that we played here. Some of those laws out there in California or whatnot. It says here, last paragraph here, it says eventually conditions will deteriorate so dramatically in our core urban areas that our leaders will be forced to implement extreme measures in a desperate attempt to restore order. So they're telling you in code what they're going to do. This is talking about martial law. Okay, shit is about to get real draconian. All right. Our leaders will be forced to implement extreme measures in a desperate attempt to restore order. All right, it's coming. But ultimately, you can't govern vast numbers of people that have no intention of being governed, right? As we just read in 2 Ezra 15. What did it say? It says, for there should be sedition among men and invading one another, as we just saw in the video. Them niggas invaded that store. They should not regard their kings nor princes, right? They're not gonna They could give a damn about authority, the police. It says, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So we're seeing these things beginning to manifest, right? It says, last point, it says the fabric of our society is really coming apart at the seams. And we are going to see things happen in the years ahead that will completely shock all of us, right? But see, we're in the know. It ain't going to shock us because what? We in the spirit. We know the Lord told us how this thing was going to play out, and it's playing out exactly how the Lord said it was going to happen. Okay? But to the rest of the world, it's going to be a shock to them, right? Jeremiah, let's just get straight to the point. Jeremiah 30:7. All right? We'll start up. Jeremiah 30:4 says, in these words that the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, spake concerning Israel and concerning Judah. For thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not peace, and not of peace, all right? We have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace, man. It's about to get terrible out here. Ask ye now and see whether a man doeth travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins? As a woman in travail, and all faces turn to paleness, showing you the fear that's going to be on these people when society completely collapses, man. It said every man with his hands on his loins. As a woman in travail, and all faces turn into paleness, the fear. All right. Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, right? You know, that's the time that's coming, Jacob's trouble, man. A time like no other. But he shall be saved out of it, which is talking about the elect. All right. Those are the ones that are going to be preserved. All right. When this shit fully hits the fan and splatters. All right. The elect are going to be covered. You see that? So the love of many is waxing cold, man. All right. So it's getting ready to pop off. You know, just want to go through this lesson. I pray that this lesson was edifying, man. The love of many shall wax cold. An angry society divided. Right. As they say, the proof is in the pudding. All right. So you Jakes out there, you better wake the hell up. All right. All you women out there that are at ease, especially you women. Right. Let me make that point real fast. Right. Especially you women, man. All right. You women are going to be food. Right. Scriptures say you're going to be booty. Okay. Which literally means spoil. You're going to be spoiled. You're going to be taken. Right. Bear with me. Isaiah 32. And Isaiah 32 and verse 2, and it reads, it says, a man, a righteous man at that, a man of the Lord, and a man shall be in hiding place from the wind. What does the wind represent? All right, the chaos and destruction that's coming. And a covert from the tempest, a covering. All right, a righteous man is going to be a covering from the time to come. It says, as rivers of water in a dry place, as the shadow of a great rock in a weary land. All right. So all you women out there that say you don't need a man and F men and men ain't shit. All right. Well, wait till the Lord push you in these various straits. All right. You're going to realize that you're going to need a man. Okay. Because a lot of you women are going to be taken, man. A lot of these women are going to suffer horrible, terrible judgments, man. All right. Isaiah 32:10, it says, Isaiah 32:9, it says, rise up, you women that are at ease. Hear my voice. What is the voice of the Lord? The prophets, man. These prophecies that are being declared unto you. Rise up, you women that are at ease, that are comfortable, that are in your security. Hear my voice, you careless daughters. Give ear unto my speech. Many days and years shall you be troubled. You careless women. For the vintage shall fail, the gathering shall not come. So you getting ready to lose all your little benefits and perks, right? All of these laws that are catered towards the women, that protect women. All right. All that's about to go away. All right. And all you're going to have is yourself. All right. To survive. Right. Like the elder brother in Hawaii, the brother Yahweh. All right. He did a recent lesson going into pretty much what these women fear the most. Right. The main fear that these women fear when society collapses is what men are going to do to them. Right. That's what this Edomite was saying in the video that he did the lesson on. Right. She was breaking it down. She said what women fear the most is when society breaks down into lawlessness is what men are going to do to them. Right. When they know that in their minds that they can completely get away with whatever they're going to do. She was saying that that's what women fear the most, and she's correct. Right? It's open game on you women, man. Right? It says, verse 11, tremble ye women that are at ease. Right? You women out there that fear the Lord, you're really supposed to be in fear and trembling when you hear these words, man. When you hear these prophecies. Tremble you women that are at ease, be troubled, you careless ones. Strip you and make you bare, and gird sackcloth upon your loins. Right? You're supposed to be in the spirit of humility, man. All right? You're supposed to have that fear. Okay? Verse 12, it says, they shall lament for the teats, for the pleasant fields, for the fruitful vine. Right? Because these women are going to be in a pitiful case when your benefits and all your little rights that you have and all of this bullshit gets taken away from you. You're going to be crying. You're going to be in the worst case scenario, man. All right? You're going to be in a pitiful case. That's why it's best that you women shut the hell up. All right? And just listen. And continue to fear the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, because, hey, men are coming out. They're going to come after you. All right? They're coming. All right? Lawlessness spreads like wildfire, man. The complete collapse of Babylon America is coming, man. And there's nothing you can do. Okay? So I'm going to leave it there. You know, I pray that this lesson was edifying, man. All right? It's going down like a plane crash out this bitch. All right? So I'm going to close it out by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Rakak Wadash, a double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught this truth, and double salutation to all you Akim out there laboring in the house of David, the elect, that's pushing his word with all truth, righteousness, and sincerity. A shalom to you, brothers, and shalom to the elect. All right, America is out of there. Shalom. Hey, shalom.